Good morning. Good morning. Welcome or welcome back to Bookeemonsters. My name is PK. It is Thursday, June the 27th, and we are here to look at the new releases that are being set into the wild this week. And on Thursdays, we look at fantasy and science fiction. Every day of the week, we look at a different genre. On Mondays, we look at cozy mysteries. On Tuesdays, we look at mysteries and thrillers. On Wednesdays, we look at romance. And today, Thursdays, fantasy and science fiction. Friday is Freeform Friday, and we look at whatever we want to. Quick announcements. Yes, we do have sprints tonight at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, 8 p.m. Eastern. They will go for 2.5 hours. Bring your own book, work on a project, be creative. Just close your eyes after a day. It is entirely up to you. It is time carved out for you for self-care. Our sprints after that are on Saturday afternoon. All right. Yeah. Let us jump in. Children of Anguish and Anarchy. Well, that sounds like a fun read. By Tommy Adeyemi, third in the Legacy of Orisha series. New allies rise. The blood moon nears. Zayli faces her final enemy, the king who hunts her heart. When Zayli seized the royal palace that fateful night, she thought her battles had come to an end. The monarchy had finally fallen. Oh, honey, you got a rule after that. The Magi had risen again. Zayli never expected to find herself locked in a cage and trapped on a foreign ship. Now warriors with iron skulls traffic her and her people across the seas far from their homeland. Then everything changes when Zayli meets King Baldur, her true captor, the ruler of the skulls, and the man who has ravaged entire civilizations to find her. Baldur's quest to harness Zayli's strength sends Zayli, Amari, and Zane searching for allies in unknown lands. But as Baldur closes in, catastrophe charges Orish's shores. It will take everything Zayli has to face her final enemy and save her people before the skulls annihilate them for good. Sounds like a good time. Oh, it's just a Tuesday. Foul Days by Genoveva Demova. I'd like to buy a V. Where you get three of them? First in the Witch's Compendium of Monsters. This is described as The Witcher meets Naomi Novik. Fast-paced fantasy rooted in Slavic folklore. As a witch in the walled city of Chernograd, Kosara has plenty of practice treating lycanthrope bites. Oh, we got werewolves. Bargaining with kikimoras and slaying blood-sucking youpers. There's only one monster she can't defeat. Her ex, the Zeme, known as the Tsar of Monsters. She's defied him one too many times, and now he's hunting her. Betrayed by someone close to her, Kasara's only choice is to trade her shadow, the source of her powers, for a quick escape. Unfortunately, Kasara soon develops the deadly sickness that plagues shadowless witches, and only reclaiming her magic can cure her. To find it, she's forced to team up with a suspiciously honorable detective. Even worse, all the clues point in a single direction. To get her shadow back, Kasara will have to face the foul day's biggest threats without it. And she's only got 12 days. But in a city where everyone is out for themselves, who can Kasara trust to assist her in outwitting the biggest monster from her past? Okie dokie. Next up, I do like this cover. It's kind of has that classic-ish kind of look. Unexploded Remnants by Elaine Gallagher. Good morning, Mary. Just had the pest control person show up. Didn't know he was coming. Oh, a tad early, but one more thing off the list. Excellent. Pests. Another thing I don't like about summer. An AI wages war on a future it doesn't understand. Alice is the last human, street smart and badass. After discovering what appears to be an AI personality in an antique data core, Alice decides to locate its home somewhere in the Stargate network. At the very least, she wants to lay him to rest because, as it turns out, she stumbled upon the sentient control unit of a deadly ancient weapon system. Convincing the ghost of a raging warrior that the war is over is about as hard as it sounds, which is to say, it's near impossible. But if Alice Hang fails and the control unit falls into the wrong hands, the balance of power her side of the Milky Way could fall apart. As Alice ports throughout the known universe seeking answers and aid, she will be faced with impossible choice after impossible choice and the growing might of unstoppable foe. That's a lot of story for 111 pages. I don't get it. Sleep Like Death by Baron Cal- Callan. Callan. It's a Snow White retelling. Only the true Only the truly desperate and foolish seek out the night, an ancient monster who twists wishes into curses. Eve knows this firsthand. One of her mothers was cursed by the night and trapped in the body of a songbird. With unique with the unique abilities to communicate with animals and conjure weapons from nature, Eve has trained all her life to defeat him. With more and more villagers harmed by the night's corrupt deals, Eve believes she's finally ready to face him. But when Queen Regina begins acting strangely, talking to seemingly no one, isolating herself, and lashing out at the slightest provocation, Eve must question if her powers are enough to save her family and her kingdom. Feeling sorry for Randy these days with her channel woes. Indeed, that it's just absolutely, and with no help, really. So hard to track down the cause and then find someone who can help. Wishing her the best. Well, no, I have my issues. Mostly, it is the a lag time sometimes. I think it's my tablet, just not able to keep up. But when you're doing a live, if things don't work, it is so frustrating because you're worried. You want to have your audience have a good time, and it's just frustrating if it doesn't happen. One Cursed Rose by Rebecca Zanetti, first in the Grim Bargains for fans of Scarlett St. Clair and Sarah J. Maas. They christened me Alana, and while the name means beauty beneath the surface is a depth I allow very few to see. I'm sole heir to Aquarius Social, a media giant about to succumb to an unseen enemy. My father's solution is to marry me off to the son of a competing family. My reaction? Not a chance. Now I have just a week before the wedding to change my fate. Who knew the unforeseen twist would be an assassination attempt on me and an unwanted rescue by Thorn Bethach, the head of the rival social media empire driving Aquarius under. The richest, most ruthless of them all, the beast protects his realm with an iron rule. No one sees his face. When he shows himself to me, I know he'll never let me go. Thorn may think he can lock me in his enchanted castle forever, but I'm not the docile beauty he expects. If the beast wants to tie me up, I'm going to take pleasure from every minute of it, and we'll just see who ends up shackled. The Daughter's War. I got some much needed rain last night. Oh, good. I can almost hear the plants. Oh, yeah. The ground is just going. This is by Christopher Buhlman, part of the Black Tongue Thief series. There's two books. The goblins have killed all of our horses and most of our men. They have enslaved our cities, burned our fields, and still they wage war. Now our daughters take up arms. Galva, Galvicha to her three brothers, two of whom the goblins will kill, have defied her family's wishes and joined the army's untested new unit, the Raven Knights. They march toward a once beautiful city overrun by the goblin horde, accompanied by scores of giant corvids. Made with the darkest magics, these fearsome blackbirds may hold the key to stopping the goblins in their war to make cattle of mankind. The road to victory is bloody, and the goblins are clever and merciless. The Raven Knights can take nothing for granted, not the bonds of family, nor the wisdom of their leaders, nor their own safety against the dangerous warbirds at their side, but some hopes are worth any risk. Well, so far I'm not tempted by anything. Filthy Rich Fae by Geneva Lee, first in a series. You made a bargain, your soul for his, and now you are mine. Kate Holloway knows the unspoken rule of New Orleans: avoid the powerful Gage crime family at all costs. Of course, that was before her brother got caught in their chaos. Now Kate has no choice but to confront the dark and forbidding Prince of New Orleans himself and beg for her brother's life. But Lachlan Gage is as lethal as he is beautiful, and the only currency he's interested in is her soul. Because Lachlan isn't just some ruthless criminal, he's Fae, and he has his own secret reasons for binding her to him. Tricked and desperate, Kate is torn between humanity and the breathtaking otherworld, a place filled with shadows and secrets, with members of each Fae court plotting against her just as her captor's motives for trapping her become more mysterious. And if she can't break this sinister bargain in the next 30 days, she'll be bound to the inscrutable yet infuriating, tempting Fae Prince and his deadly world forever. Excuse me. That sounds a lot like Persephone and Hades. Merely Mortal by Michelle M. Pillow. What a fun last name. My last name is Pillow. Can you imagine? Pillow. James Pillow. I must buy. First in the Merely Mortal. All I want is a simple, normal life. Unfortunately, normalcy is a luxury I can't afford as a lowly human born into a powerful supernatural family embroiled in magic. They've always been quick to remind me that I have an expiration date. Imagine everyone's surprise when it's me standing above their graves, not the other way around. The fire that took their lives wasn't my fault, yet everyone is blaming me, especially the vampires. I'm out. Now I have a target on my back and a bounty on my head. Without the protection of my family, I'm caught up in a tangled web of supernatural dynasties and arcane power struggles. So when a handsome stranger and his young daughter take pity on me and offer me a ride, I don't say no. It's a mistake, one I hope doesn't cost us all our lives. Sometimes being merely mortal really sucks. Mhm. No, no vampires for me. Uh, I think so. I think so. He never really commits to anything like that, but he had gotten word from like a cousin twice removed kind of thing who was going to be coming through town and wanted to pick up a garage part. And Steve said something. Well, now I have to go to the shop and make. It's like, oh, you were going to stay home, but I'm also saying leave the part. They can stop by. They don't need to ruin your whole day. So I think he was. I think he will. I just can't push it because he's a Taurus and he's stubborn. Savage by Sherilyn Kenyon, third in the Shadows of Fire. But thank you for asking. From the moment he was born, and I'm so looking forward to it. From the moment he was born, a god of light and darkness, Zevakin Duraxerxes, was rejected by those, yeah, I should get points for these names, people, by those who should have embraced him. A child of both realms, he was embraced by none. His is a lonely path, and he's walked for centuries as he's done his best to avoid the divine politics of his parents. But one can stay neutral for so long. Now, Zev must face his past and learn from his mistakes. The world is in turmoil, and his best friend and brother are facing enemies at every turn. The evil he rejected is on the brink of destroying everything he knows and everyone he cares about. Either Zev embraces the savage inside himself that he spent centuries caging, or he'll be the last god ruling over a vacant, hollowed out world. Are you really ruling if there's nobody there? The Bound Worlds by Megan E. O'Keefe, third in the Devoured Worlds. Worlds will collide and fates will be rewritten. Nera and Tarquin have found a new home on Seventh Cradle, but the peace they've built is short lived as mysterious assailants ambush the settlement, and Nera is haunted by visions of a monstrous future. Catastrophe strikes when Tarquin uncovers a plot to bring about the end of the universe. As humanity races against the clock to prevent their extinction, old secrets come to light and loyalties fracture, and Nera realizes she may be the key to saving the world or ending it. The Curse of Sins by Kate Dramas, second in the Curse of Saints series. Stay anchored in the light, they told her, but what had the light ever done for her? After discovering she's prophesied to save the realm, I got hair in my face. Aya's duty should be clear: return home with once sworn enemy Will to serve their queen in the coming war against a rival kingdom, one whose pursuit of dark magic could bring the realm to its knees. But with part of the prophecy still undiscovered and their queen's intentions increasingly suspect, Aya's very purpose is quickly brought into question. With betrayal lurking around every corner, she and Will are forced to lie, manipulate, and hide what they've become to one another as they struggle to learn the truth before dark magic destroys them all. And with secrets and lies trailing Aya wherever she goes, she has to wonder, do the gods truly want her to save the realm, or simply watch it burn? 640 pages. The Hunter's Gambit by Seal Perlot. Perlot. Locked in a castle with a clan of devious vampires, I'm out. One woman is caught in a literal fight for her life. Vampires have always fascinated Kazan Korvik, so much so that she's made it her life's work to craft weapons designed solely to kill them. I'm so fascinated by you. I'm going to kill you. But when she's attacked and captured by an entire clan, Kazan's fascination turns ferocious. In their citadel, Kazan is forced to attend the vampire court where she must act as their queen. Why? She is told that she will be waited and doted upon until the end of her reign in 3 days' time. Then an extravagant and lavish feast will be held where the vampires will consume their newly crowned queen. Oh, God. No, thank you. Desperate and afraid, Kazan finds no allies in the castle except for a pair of distractingly alluring vampires who seem sympathetic to her plight. But as she devises her escape plan, she comes to realize that she is not the only one who is trapped, and no one is prepared for how far she's willing to go to survive. I shouldn't laugh. uh, keep your fingers crossed for the fifth. Oh, do you have any plans for the fifth? Mary, one of my dogs is named, yeah, close to that character's name. Oh, yeah, the babies. All right, last one. You're Safe by Leslie Stevens. Wellness, motherhood, and technology converge in a near future California as three women's seemingly innocuous decisions have further reaching consequences than any of them could imagine. It's 2060. The Well Pod is the latest launch from the largest tech company the world has ever seen. A fleet of floating personal paradises scattered throughout the Pacific Ocean, focused entirely on health, solitude, and relaxation. Created by an enigmatic drinking game founder who will stop at nothing to ensure her company's success. It is the long awaited pinnacle of wellness technology. For newly pregnant Maggie, the 6-week program is the perfect chance to get away, especially since the baby isn't her partner's. Noah Bahar isn't a perfect fiance. She's too distracted, too focused on her work in helping program the well pod to give Maggie the attention she deserves. But when she discovers something rotten beneath well pod's shiny exterior, a history of faulty tech and dangerous cover ups, she knows one thing: she'll do whatever it takes to keep Maggie safe. The problem? The malfunctioning well pods are already at sea, and there's a storm coming. Of course there is, because there's always a storm coming. All right, that's what we got. I am safe. I am marked safe today from buying anything. I am okay with this. Not much of a sci-fi fantasy person, none appeal. Oh, gotcha. They're usually so contrived I'm out before I even start. I like sci-fi fantasy. I don't really care for what's being written these days. Um, but I have a whole bunch I need to read from before. Yesterday, I kind of bookmarked 5 romances. I don't know why, but so I've got my week. I don't need any more temptations. Whoa. All righty. So, tomorrow we'll be looking at, I haven't decided yet. We might look at the mystery thrillers and romance we didn't get to that we ran out of time before we got to. Or we can look at, it's the last week of the Midsummer Hiss Mist, and I could show you what I read this month. So up to you, whatever you want to do. But those are the options I was thinking of for tomorrow. We do have sprints tonight, um, at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, 8 p.m. Eastern. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm such a fast reader, but I love reading. Yeah, there's people who read faster than me. I just I don't know. I read fast enough that it creates pictures in my head, but am I getting everything? Maybe not. I mean, there's both ways. Reading, I compare it to like a film. You can just read it and create the pictures and keep going, going, going. Or you can, like a film, look at each frame and appreciate the artistry, because a lot of thought went into each and every part of uh, what is being filmed, or in our case, what is being written. For the most part, there are authors who don't do this, but for the most part, authors and editors have chosen each and every word to create this picture. They've chosen a point of view, they've chosen what the setting is. So reading slower lets you appreciate that more. And so there's no real correct way as long as you're reading. Those who don't read, that's who I feel sorry for, because there are not just these worlds that you can read, but these authors, not just ones in our time, but you can touch across centuries the minds of and thoughts and words of somebody. Isn't that amazing? That to me is magic. That is magic. It just blows my mind how magical that is. But I've got to head out here in the next couple minutes. We've got a crew leaving early, so I got to go open up the shop. There can be such beauty in the written word. Absolutely. And because we are such individual people, different books resonate with different people. And when you find the words, the author, the that tickle your brain, it's such a good feeling. And we chase after that high. I need to find another one that tickles my brain like that. We're just addicts. I mean, ambassadors. So have a good Thursday. Thank you, Mary, so much for being here. I appreciate you and I love you. Have a good day. Read good books. Be safe. Be cool. Drink lots of water. And as the banner says here, don't be a bookworm. Be a bookie monster. Nom nom nom. Have a good day. God bless.